What's up? How's everybody? Oh, it's too bright. Oh, oops. Much better. Much more better. What's up, guys? Peter's here. How you doing, buddy? DQ or Daryl? Right on, Daryl. You So where are you located at, Daryl? What's up, Dan? Doing all right. I can't complain. I mean, still kicking. North Virginia. Okay. Okay. Well, you were able to save the day in Missouri all the way from North Virginia. I used the telescopic pole today, and it was so awesome. It worked so good. There we go. That's better. Okay. Yeah, it works so good. What's up, Matthew? Hanging with the wife. Right on, ground pounder. Cool. Oh, speaking of ground pounder, great Xmas vid, and the zip lining was right on. Cool. Right on, Turbo. I'm glad you liked it. I have a lot of kind of old stuff that I should post that I just had skipped over for years and years. So, yeah, but I used the telescopic pole today, and like, just to be straight up here, first, let me show you guys this awesome shirt I got from Ground Pounder. He done his own logo on the back, and I don't know if you're going to be able to really see it in the, yeah, kind of. Pretty sick. The shirt is so nice. I need to have my shirts made out of this stuff. It's that like stretchy stuff, and oh, it's so comfortable. It's my favorite shirts. But yeah, digging it, dude. Thank you. I'll comment on the recent vid to get you mine. Oh, okay. But DQ, yeah, you saved the day. It works so good, dude. It was awesome, Daryl. Like it came in handy so many times. It was like almost kind of goofy. But like I had to get the hang of it, like the direction in which you like bring the telescopic part out. I would bring the top out and then I would grab the bottom handle, and as I would pull, it would extend more when I should have held it up higher, or I'd be taking it from the bottom first, pulling it up and extending it out, and then like the top would extend, and I'm like, ah. But after I kind of figured that little thing out, the like clip, the thing you put on the end of it, so awesome. But I'm gonna talk about today. What's up, John? You got a heater going. I know. It's Christmas, and like every penny I have, I'm trying to buy gifts and stuff. And I should have bought an insert already, but it is what it is. Like, it wasn't too cold in here, so it should be all right for a few hours, you know. So I could probably last a couple hours, but probably won't last that long. But yeah, um, is it okay to be scared or fearful, like the title said? Oh, come on, Mike, can't see it. The other video, this Christmas lights was amazing. It was a beautiful thing. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, the material is amazing, ground pounder. Sorry I missed the last live feed. I work late. No worries, brother. Dude, you are always. Don't ever. Like, there's very. I don't care if my. Sometimes my stuff isn't going to be your cup of tea. Like, if you scroll to a video, you don't have to watch them all, you know? I dig it if somebody does, but yeah, you definitely don't have to watch them all. Like, if you notice, like, I make a lot of skateboard videos. None of them are on YouTube. That's all on my Instagram because, like, I realized it, like, wrecked my channel. Like, it took all my views away. So I realized pretty quick mixing things in is kind of a rough one to do, so that's why it's a little iffy about putting the Christmas lights one up. But it was such a good video, and I thought maybe some families could sit around and watch it. So that's kind of, I know it was kind of out of place, but yeah, from 2015, I took my wife and daughter down there. Like, I got some other videos where my daughter was young, and she's such a like little adult now that those videos mean even more now. So I was just kind of scrolling through them and came across that. But yeah, I was iffy about posting it. If you notice it, we got very few views, but it is what it is. Maybe it'll be just kind of something for people when they get bored, you know, start thinking about Christmas. If you can't afford or it's too the weather's too bad to go to Christmas and lights. I made it as simple as you could because I got copyright claimed on the music for it being live as I drove through there, and the GoPro mount was very squeaky and you could hear my truck and stuff. So I ended up uploading that video once and had to pull it back down because it got copyrighted. And then I redid it with the music over, which made it way better in my opinion. And then re-uploaded it, and yeah. Can I see? I missed the shirt. Yeah. Oh, it's covered, man. I covered it. Hang on, let me see what I can do here. Let's see this. Check out this logo. All right, hang on. I can't see if I'm in the camera view or not. Yeah, I think I am. Do you see that? Gotta go wide back. But yeah, it's probably hard to see, but if I flip this, I tell you what, I can make it so it's not hard to see. Give me just a second. All right, now it's super bright. Yeah, that's in there, like swimwear. Cool logo. Like, I really, really, really dig the logo. It's awesome. But like I was saying, I found myself. You guys know, I I, I climbed some pretty stupid trees. I'm that guy that can save the day for you, or maybe just save you a rental fee. I just a lot of times I know like the stuff. If I was to rig off of a single spar or something, on some of the stuff that I do, that it would break. It would blow apart. It would smash the tree apart. The rigging point would break out. All kinds of crazy stuff could happen. But you know, I also know how I can take something that's so incredibly weak and create, you know, make it strong. Let me catch up on a few comments. But I found myself in one today that was had okay. It was only about this big around up towards the top. Anyway, I'd say 8 inches, maybe to 10, 8 to 10, and then it went on to some smaller ones that were about 6 or so inches across. And they had gaps in them, splits that went all the way up it, and then you would see it got to a point where I could feel flexing below my feet on a few of the sparks, especially one I was tied into. But it was the strongest main stem. Now this was in between two houses, and they both had their houses here, but then they had little additions that went over and had overhangs. So you had this little gap right here, and there was a cyclone fence inside there. But everybody always gives me a hard time that I don't call the electric company. Why didn't you call the electric company? I watch all your videos. Thank you, Turbo. I appreciate it. Yeah, that Christmas video is really neat. I like it. Right on, Dan. Cool. Thanks, Jeff. Oh, man. Right on, Jeff. I agree. It is an awesome shirt, isn't it? Yeah, I was gonna rock the one that I got from Daryl, but I'll wear it next time. Kind of a tradition that I try to do something. Like if you notice, a couple times I haven't talked about it, but I'd be wearing like a sock cap that got sent to me by somebody. Um, yeah, Billy, it is basically like a get together every week, isn't it? What's up, JC? I love the crotch on that shirt. I know it's got a hell of a dick print, doesn't it? He made sure he like packed it. And I'm not kidding with you one bit. That's the first thing my wife said. There's a big dick print on it. Here, he's got a big dick print. And I'm like, oh my god, I didn't notice it. But hey, it's a guy with a chainsaw, of course. I think I think fear can get you hurt and stop you from moving forward. DQ, yes, but don't go on it. Go on a lot. Electric company in my area takes about 1 year. Yeah, I know. Peter, you're in the same boat as me. They need to be left like told so far ahead of time, and you have to be there at the exact time, and then they want to sit there and like hawkeye you while you do it, and crazy shit. But today, I was actually at one where the electric line got dropped, but I still had no room, and I was over the top of the house. A kid that lived there had trimmed some trees or trimmed the tree, and he cut everything that was over his house and the center out of it. And then it killed the tree, and he left all the dead stuff hanging over the neighbors and like partially over his. But yeah, electricity takes a long time. I really appreciate that shout out. Oh, no problem. Damn, Skippy, I did not even pay attention to that. I'll have to back up. Yeah, you have to. That's pretty funny. Electric company here is awesome to work with. They work with my schedule. I'm blessed. That's pretty cool, dude. Yeah, they were really cool and act like any time, but I've had them say multiple times, this is what happens. Knock it down. This is what they say. Knock it down and we'll come put it back up. Because there's so many old electric lines that are supposed to be replaced in our town, I think, in the homes, that they're the actual residential lines. That even today, when they dropped it and replaced the line. So like now I understand why I've been told that, because I would call in situations where I thought, yeah, I would have the line dropped. And when I do that, they're like, knock it down and we'll put it back up. And I'm like, I'm not knocking the electric line down. That sounds stupid. Like, why would you tell me to do that? And but that does make sense then if that's the case. But yeah, they were really cool, and were pretty complimentary. Like, I tripped them out, but had major problems with the cameras today, and don't know if really any of the good footage that was there like a good look at the tree, it would have the vertical cracks in it and the separations. It was so dead, and then you could take a pole pruner and reach out there and just hit the tips, and it would just break. Um, a lot of times with these trees, when they're dead, they become incredibly hard, and they still have strength to them. So you can feel this a lot of times in your spikes. So like a dead tree, you would expect to be softer, but that's not necessarily true. You're gonna get into some of them, and it's gonna feel incredibly hard. And I don't know, it's probably not the best, strength to it. It probably stronger when it's green, but there's a difference. When you start to see like a tree that starts to shed its bark, a lot of times it'll shred its bark off of it and then be all over the place, kind of hanging off like, just like a old band-aid basically. And you can see that it's about to fall off, but it's just hanging all over it. Looks really rough. And then other areas will still have the bark, but you'll see on the like underbelly on it or something, it'll start to get a mushroom or a fungus to grow on it. I can usually spot those from the ground, and I'm like, that's the problem right there. Like that's the biggest worry. And it was definitely it. I thought, well, as I got up in it, I was going to save that one for like the end because I thought that's the worrisome spot. And I worked the tree up, and I'm like, well, it's still stronger in some spots than I would have expected. But then when I got over to that, that's a good sign when you start to see a fungus growing on the outside of the bark. That means that, and the tree's dead. That just tells me that there's a lot of moisture inside there. And when I went to put my spikes in, it sunk, and it was just really like a wet breadstick. It was gross. Um, it was really bad. So I personally am the opposite, and of like what you were saying, Ground Pounder. Electric companies. Okay, hang on. Let me catch up on some comments, and I'll keep going on that. Here in PA, most of the time, don't even show up unless there's an out. Yeah, yeah, an outage. I'm gonna repost a video and try to upload it, and then see if I can increase the picture quality, and then do a voiceover and re-upload it. It was a video that I put some stupid music to, and it got copyrighted a long time ago, and it's a really good video, but we were up towards St. Louis and had it scheduled for the electric to be dropped, and they just didn't show up. They showed up at like the end of the day. And I'm glad that I didn't wait on them. It just made me become creative. So a lot of times when it comes to the having the electric dropped, I'm just gonna figure a way around it because I've had to do it so many times, so many different ways that like I got like a bag full of tricks for that situation. So that's why for me I'm not quick to call because I've done it so many times and been in that situation that just I'll figure a way around it. But knock it down and we'll put it back up. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I'm not doing that. I kind of wish I would have now because like if they would have said knock them down, we got to put a new line up anyway. Oh, you best believe I'm ripping that thing off the side of the house. But I've also seen when one of them lines gets bumped and the little pipe that comes out of the house and the electric line connects to sometimes runs into the home. That little PVC pipe, I worked for a guy when I was young. But I worked for him and it got broke, the little plastic PVC thing, because it shocked the line and it dropped down a little bit and the PVC pipe broke. That the guy I was working for said that he got charged by the electric company to get it put back up. I told the homeowner that I thought it was going to catch the line. He says, do it anyway. I was like, I think it's going to catch the line. He says, if it catches the line, I'll pay for it. So I tell this to the guy I'm working for, and this is after the job's done and stuff. And he says, "Well, the electric company sent me the bill, and blah 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 blah." So like he charged me like I think it was like 600, 700 bucks for a piece of PVC and to have it reconnected and this or that. But then I found out that the customer had it put back up, and like I was so gullible when I was young, I believed that they sent it to his electric bill, and that's not even possible. Like I found out so many lies that I'd been told, and money that had been taken from me. The older I get, that it's just like I try not to think about it too much, but I took out about 4 months ago, and they came out and put it back up. That's pretty sweet. You take a line down here, yeah, and they will charge you for everything, and I mean everything. Damn. They will send the cavalry and your yeah, yeah. Yeah. It sucks. I took out a home line once, and the latest video was me working all up on 3 face. Yeah. If you're honest with them and stick around, they tend to a lot cooler about the mishaps for the most part. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you messed up, you kind of gotta own it. But, yeah. Yeah, not cool. That's how the guy got me and was able to lie to me, was because when it happened and the electric company was gonna come out to put the lineup when I was younger, I stayed there. I started to cut the tree up. I waited for the electric company, explained to them what happened, and they were cool with me. But then, like, then he come up with, I think it was just him coming up with a lie to get some money out of me. Because I would work so hard, and when it was time to pay, he was one of them people that, like, he was looking for a way to cut your check every time. Like, well, didn't you do this and this? And I wanted to fight this one, and I argued it, but like, what do you do? I thought, well, if he had to pay that, he had to pay that. So, he got me. Gotta be careful, Peter. And let's take New York around man. I really have to call them, but they actually have been a pleasure to deal with. But BS, the small town atmosphere and a good reputation gets you a long ways. 100%, 100%. Around here, an electrician has to rehook it up, 600 bucks. Holy smokes! That's weird because here the homeowner calls and says, I need this dropped for a period to get work done. It's not the company, the homeowner does. And they say, well, we will actually drop it and disconnect it when we see that your workers are there. So they're not going to just disconnect it for no reason. Like, they want to make sure that something's happening because they're the ones having to mess with it. But yeah, that was like a first for me. I think that was the first time I've ever. Well, no, when I worked for that guy, there was a couple times where he had lines dropped. I think that I can kind of remember, but for the most part, they're just not a major concern of mine. I feel like I can easily work around them, come up with some rigging solution, and get it done. But the thing with, being scared or fearful, like, I feel like being scared is where mistakes happen. You're scared and you make a choice that is out of character because of like how scared you are at that exact moment. It's only about that exact moment. You've been up there. You've thought about what could happen. You know what you could do, and you think of it, and like everything you come up with, nothing seems like foolproof and perfectly safe. So you're like, screw it, I'm just doing it. That's usually where it happens. I feel like those are the times where I'm making a decision because I'm scared. Now, I'm always fearful. Like, there's always things can happen. Crazy stuff happens. I don't know how I like crippled myself. I don't know how that really happened. If I'm being totally honest. I have some thoughts, but I was on top of the log. I stepped off the side because I just took the whole thing down to the log, the single stem, threw my line. I thought over a crotch, stepped off the side, and I woke up on a brush pile sprawled across the brush pile. So, or not a brush pile, but a wood pile. So, I'm always fearful. So, I feel like having the fear and knowing that things can go bad is a good thing, but like making stupid decisions to save a minute, like where you're like up there and you're like, I've been up here too long. I gotta make a decision here. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do the cut instead of being like, I don't feel good with this, dude. There's this, and you come down and you come up with a better game plan, and then maybe you're able to do it. But at the time, if you was to make a decision because you're scared, that's where I feel like accidents really happen. I'm getting cold as hell right now. I'm probably shaking and stuff. $3,500. Dang, Peter. The one and only line I took out, I was home line, and thankfully, I have a buddy that's an electrician. Came and bailed me out. That's awesome, Jeff. That's really cool. What's up, Steve? I missed the last few. Hope everyone's doing all right, buddy. How are you guys? How are you been? You and your family? $100 out the door, and the line was back up. Hell yeah, Jeff. That beats that beats anything. I mean, to have that. Ground Pounder says, buddy of mine clipped one on a logging job. Oh, we got 10 thumbs up. That's rare. Like the thumbs up get into double digits is like kind of rare for my live feeds. Sure, you guys aren't thinking about thumbs up and anything. They're like, give me some content, entertain me, give me something that I enjoy, and I understand that. So a lot of them don't subscribe either. I think still 91.8% of my views come from non-subscribers. So buddy of mine clipped one on a logging job, and you would have thought the world was gonna end. It was oh, yeah. I watched my dad when I was a kid. He cut a little sucker branch off and it hit a three phase and it like floated. The wind picked up, like blew it over, and it landed on it. It was just a little sucker branch, but it was those raw lines, and it laid on it. And I seen it like it sat there, and a little smoke came up. It still had leaves and stuff on it. All of a sudden, it started to smoke, and then it says, and then the transformer blew, and like green, pink, yellow, red. I'm like, I couldn't see. The sky changed. It was insane. But that also happened when I was a little kid and I threw a rock at our Dust to Dawn light, so it's not like I've ever seen that before. I'm Ontario. You can get one disconnected a year for free. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that kind of seems like maybe what it is kind of around my area. Because I'm sure they just ain't coming out to the same house 50 times done disconnected. But who knows? I can't say that that's not true because I just don't, I avoid it. Like, I don't want to. If I can figure out some silly ass way to do it to where I don't have to call them guys, I try. So, what we got there? Altum X? Is that right? Altum X? I was watching some of the Bridge Burner stuff. He's hilarious. Yes, he is. He's very funny. He doesn't have a filter, and that's I appreciate it. And he's very quick to speak his mind. Is a square file actually a hexagon shaped file? Kinda, yeah. If a tree lands on a line and rips it out of the house 600 for a reconnect. That makes sense. That's about what it is around here, I think. I fear nothing but certainly respect and accept what I'm dealing with. I know we were thinking the same thing because I think it's a bad play on words on my part. I think them two words are so similar because I felt myself a lot of times when I'm like talking about the fear and having the fear, like you're scared because there's nothing but fear. Like so it goes both ways, man. That was me struggling to come up with a topic and name and title, so that's what it ended up being. I'm scared to make wrong decisions. I'm scared to die. I'm scared to get injured. Someone, yeah. I'm scared, you know, that's the decision today. Like it was one to where it was like, hey, I'll rent you like a lift. I'm either gonna go rent a lift or you can do it and you can have the lift rental. So it's like not really like the greatest profit, wise or like money wise, but it's like any money right now before Christmas, after Christmas, like it's tight. Things get so rough. So like you have to do it. Like I'm thinking, is it worth the risk? Because I looked at it before I gave the yes, and I'm like, I don't know. It's bad. Then when I got in it and found out it had big hollow sections and was even worse than I thought. I really am like, oh, you know what? You can do this, but I feel like I'm pushing it, and is it worth it to give my daughter something extra or buy someone else a gift? Not because I want anything, I just want to be able to give gifts, and so I'll push it, and I feel like that's worth it. But today was a rough one, and I'm like, that was a sketchy one. I pushed it, but I'll have some footage of it. But what I was saying there is like I'm my biggest fear is to leave my wife and daughter without someone to support them, take care of them. So I screwed up and almost got it to that point once, and like, is it ever worth that happening? And I'm like, definitely not. But then I get to thinking about like, well, but you don't even know what you did, so that's just what an accident is. So being cognizant and like focused on your task and not trying to micromanage other tasks is a major thing because the task you're doing if you're cutting and climbing is insanely hard and requires 100% focus, and I didn't respect that. So I feel like that's basically what happened to me. I got too focused on other things and didn't focus enough on what I was doing, and that's probably why my accident happened. But yeah, that's the biggest fear I have. 100% a ground pounder. But he says, but I'm not fearful to make or to be the man and to make those calls and take full responsibility for my decisions. You want to know what I said? If it breaks, it's probably going to break here, here, or here. That's a 25-foot fall. My knees could take that. Then my wife's like, "Oh my God, why would you say something like that?" So it was immediately when you get down, you need to text me and let me know that you're on the ground, you're out of that tree, and you're safe. And that's just a warning. I should have kept my mouth shut. No, ground pounder, I agree, dude. Don't. You're much more wise, my friend. It will always cause you to make the right decisions. And in the event you're wrong, your intentions are true. I agree, Daryl. At least I try. Who's the guy in the thumbnail? I don't know him. What's up, Mike? I would gladly follow you into the country, but I don't like bucket trucks. Bucket trucks are nice sometimes, though. Being overcautious will also kill you, though. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. I think hesitation, like overly cautious, means you're aware of every single little aspect that could go wrong. So you've thought about it. If you've thought about it correctly, you've played the scenario out in your head. You now know how every way could go wrong, which should give you a more educated decision on the correct one. But again, it's a silly play on words right there where I think we all are going to have the same intentions, which is do it as safe as possible, but we're going to get there and deal with the emotions that go with it differently and like explain it differently, especially. So, anyone here on a recall on DMM swivels? No, I haven't. Yeah, JC, you'll enjoy it. I'm telling you. Him and Mark are funny, so they they're funny. So you have to check them out. It's Bridge Burner TV, is what it is. It's like driving too slow in snow. I'm not a fan of swivels, but DMM is recalling them. Okay. Daryl seems to keep up on that stuff, so I definitely, if he says they're recalling them, they're probably recalling them. At least that would be my guess. I rock with Daryl, whatever he says. Um, dang, what happened here? Well, I was stuck in the dogs on my saw. Oh, check this out. Look what I found. I feel like there's other stuff I was supposed to talk to you guys about and show you, and I just look what I found. Look how rusty and nasty and stuff it is. But there's my depth gauge. Finally found it. So yeah, I can actually get my dogs right and the guides right. And complacency kills. Yep. Now I'm gonna stop using mine. Yeah, those swivels. Like I like the swivel on the zigzag, but it does freak me out a bit because it's just a failure, a potential failure point. So idea and mini swivel. I think a swivel turbo. I think yeah. He answered. I'll probably look to Petzl for lanyard swivel. I kind of like my stationary. If you okay, most rope grabs are like this. Petzl makes that real cool when it's like a pistol looking, like a little pistol grip. But most of them are like this. Well, Buckingham makes one, and the swivel is the hole is turned, and like so this part is turned all the way around, and the hole is like facing right here, and it makes hookup way better, and it orientates it much better. But I think it's yeah, Buckingham is the one that I use, and I really like it. Plus, when you used to take your finger and go down here, like it's so much easier to get a hold of because it's the whole, when you go to press down here, it's not this little skinny sliver. It's like fatter. So, and it gives you, okay, so if you're setting this next to you here, if you think about it, the carabiner is going to be this direction. So it's going to turn it and kind of put it off to the side like a quarter turn off because the carabiner is going to go the opposite direction of this. It's going to cross it. Like, so it's going to be facing around like this. And it sets it off a half, like a quarter turn. So when they switch that and flip that over, I gave it that, it's like orientate perfect. I love it. But, yeah, that's one to check. But yeah, the Petzl one looks really cool though, too. Recall I've heard twice now. Yeah, yeah, tree stuff, I don't know. Like, I guess I didn't really get into tree stuff ever. Like, I like Bartlett and Cheryl, and I always found it really weird that like on their page you're being like, no offense to Nick, I didn't think Nick like ever did tree work. So like my only worry with that is I feel like sometimes with tree stuff, instead of going out and backing another tree guy and getting behind them and supporting them while getting advertisement, kind of like they did with Human. They was doing it with Human. Instead of doing that, now you're being taught by Nick. And it's like, is that, I mean, really? Are we doing this? Because I I really I want to know something from somebody after they've learned it, tested it out in the field, and have that can explain the ins and outs of it and know how it's done correctly, how it's done wrong, and stuff. So I don't know. I should just leave that whole topic alone. But that's just my opinion on that. It's hard to admit, but I have like a mofo and it keeps me alive now. You almost got me killed. I've seen death and its face. Yeah, man. And it'll make you even a little more fearful. It's like that time when that happened replays all the time. So JC, it's what I'm hearing. Well, thanks for the info, guys. You guys are so fast at typing, I can't even catch up. I have one of those. I think you know what I'm saying. Yes, be aware of everything. But... Yep. I have on my steel cord lantern. Yeah, that actually came off of us. That's you got a good eye, John, because that's off of a steel cord lanyard. I think it's Rock Exotica. Yeah, but it was in a fire. I pulled this out of a fire. It says Rock Exotica right there in little letters. But yeah, I pulled that out of a fire and greased it up and like cleaned it up, and it works. So I have some like hard cord, and maybe steel core. I don't even know what it is, but I have some. I always thought about making a lanyard for like shag barks and stuff where it's something stiff where you can reach it out and flip it up. Oh, y'all didn't kill the vibe. No, you did. Battle every day. See if you're not the only one with PTSD. Nick actually got left behind on a tree job when he said he won't climb a tree with with lines in it, and they didn't do a service job. He left, or he felt unsafe, and boss told his groundman to drive off. Dang, that's effed up. I love my house. I caught up finally. He has done tree work before. I know he's done tree work before, but like doing it before. Okay, this is the same thing in like skateboarding. As soon as a person learns a new trick on a skateboard, they then turn around the next day and do a how-to video or a trick tips video on how to do it, knowing that yesterday is the first day they figured it out, and maybe they should spend some time playing with it and like learning the ins and outs of it and trying to master it before they turn around and say, do this, do this, do this. And that kind of stuff, ah, like information overload as far as the internet goes. Instead of somebody becoming really good at something and then teaching it, there's so many people that'll just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's a passion for some people. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Okay, I can admit if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, and these people have a passion for teaching, and they just want to teach something, whether it's something they've mastered or something they just learned. They love sharing and teaching. So maybe I've just always looked at it wrong, and I should just look at it that way, as opposed to always looking at it as like they're trying to. I don't know what I think. Like, I don't know. That goes back to that, like, where I feel like people BS sometimes. That's all I feel like it is. And I don't know. I think I'm looking at it wrong. I need to look at it the positive way, that way, and see how that works. And maybe I can see all that stuff in a different light, and it's cooler, and like, I don't gotta be so negative. But, I'm human. Sometimes I'm just negative. He's a jerk before. I don't know him well though, but he's always been good to me when I talked with him. Yeah, oh no, like he seems like a legit good human being. Like a person that got into this and is like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe like I just seen the first parts of him getting into it and learning it, and maybe it's just a passion. Like I said, maybe I look at that wrong too. Like I was saying, maybe I should look at that like he just enjoys sharing and teaching, and he's not trying to be a know-it-all. He's not trying to, I don't know how to explain it. I find it funny that Bartlett Arborist Supply don't do tree work. Really, that's funny. Yeah, I've never reached out to any companies. Like I said, I reached out to actually I reached out to All Gear, probably a year or more ago, and thought, man, it would be really cool. I always like push their products, and I have for a long time. Maybe it was 2 years ago, probably 2 years ago, if I'm on the safe side. But I was always pushing their products, but they had a really bad name for the longest time. And like I used the stuff and I liked the stuff and I loved the lines and then the rings I tried and like it was more affordable with a lot of the stuff. So I pushed the products and thought, well, maybe I could talk to them and we could do something. I tried that and I got like ignored. So like that was the last time I tried to reach out to a company to do anything for like YouTube. I just leave it alone because I can't take the rejection. It really, really, really kills my ego. And hopefully that's not really what aggravates me about that. No, it's not. It's like I hate asking for anything. If somebody enjoys the channel, they stumble across it, and then they're like, "Hey, we want to back you." That should be the way I should do it. But then I hear from everyone, and everyone's always like, "You should reach out. You should have done this. You should have." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe I should have." But they are 2 hours from me, or it's Bartlett, man. How you doing, Peter? Hopefully, what's up, Squirrely John? We got a doozy coming. Yeah, we got some ridiculous. Oh, I should have covered. Yeah, I need to go around my house tomorrow and cover all my vents and my crawl space. And like it's supposed to get stupid cold here, like 10 below or something. I don't like the. Okay, hang on. Make sure I didn't skip anybody. Bill says I don't like the ISC snap hook. You have to listen for the little click to make sure it is in the locked, and I had problems with mine and got rid of it. My favorite carabiner and connection point, like on my zigzag, Eldred, make the best carabiner I've ever had. I think it's I think it's aluminum, but it's triple locking. It has the gate inside of it, then it has a trigger, and then the regular spring gate. So it's triple locking. I see people say this is a triple locking carabiner, and I don't. I guess yeah. If you turn it and it opens, that's one. If you turn it and pull down and it opens, no. If you turn it, yeah. If you turn it and then push it open, that would be two. If you turn it, pull it down, then push it open, that would be three. I guess it would be three. But the Eldred one keeps it in the right orientation on the zigzag. So that's why I love that carabiner. And it's not like a bunch of twisting and stuff. It's got a little trigger over here that you have to do. Then you have to hold the gate up before you can get this open. So it's an incredibly safe clip. And that's probably my favorite, though. Bartlett Tree Experts is their company name, but they don't post content. Not them, it's Bartlett, man, in Florida. I have a buddy that works for Bartlett Tree Experts, and from what I understand, they're a national company. Yeah, they are. I want to see real tree workers using the gear I want to buy. And I think I'm old school in that. And I think we're probably the same, JC. I want to, you know, the fact that August, let's just do that. Like let's use that as our comparison. Has there ever been a saddle that has hit the market and blown up as quick and as much as the Monkey Beaver saddle? And I don't think there is. I know if you could say there's a couple silly ones like the Notch Centennial or like um, the Tuffelberger one. I can't even remember what the name of it is, but they didn't blow up as much as the monkey beaver did one, or the monkey beaver one did, because everyone's seen this is made by a guy that has put it through the ringer. He has spent so much time sitting in them straps, so much time with that tied around his waist and hanging from a rope that he understands what real comfort is and real stability, and he came up with this product. And then, not only did he do that, that's when he should have immediately, if he goes by normal standards of YouTube, he should have immediately sold it that night and started just selling it to everybody instantly. But he did come up with the idea, then he'll test it and he'll make sure it's safe and he'll spend the time on it and put it through the ringers. Even though he has all the knowledge to build that, and it's probably damn good right from the get go. There's little things that need to be done to make it perfect before he turns around and he says, "This is for you guys. Anybody who wants it can have it now." And everyone says, "Oh, hold my beer, I'll take one." I've never seen a saddle do that. So, like, all the respect in the world that he was able to capitalize on his like data bank of knowledge, because that's all you got. So I know you can go out and you knock this out, a job this tree down or this tree down, but like if you didn't learn anything and you didn't kind of further yourself, like you can't pull back on that stuff. So like I'm not saying like you should spend every day trying to geek out and like turn into a nerd about every little like aspect of tree work and climbing and this and that, but like understanding something that you didn't understand is just as good as learning something. So, like, maybe not every time you're going to learn something, but you're going to understand something a little better than you did the day before, which increases your level on knowledge as far as that goes. And I just want to be able to know that the person that's trying to share knowledge with me respects me enough to know that, like, I my concern is that people grow incredibly trustworthy if they're new to a company called Tree Stuff, who everyone recommends and says, "Hey, you should buy from this place," and it's all over the place. So everyone sees this guy, and he's teaching me something. So if they're gonna have this like confidence in him that maybe a level that maybe they shouldn't. So that's my concern with it, is that somebody's like, this dude has to be the master at all of this because look where he's at. Look at his platform. And that's not always the case. But yeah, long winded, like always, like I am, JC. That's my opinion. They are, but home based in Michigan. I thought I could paste the link. Yeah, I don't know how that all works with the links and stuff. I don't know if you can. Bartlett and Cheryl Tree are mainly logging supply. I don't know. Like, I found myself in both magazines, so like, I was stoked on both of them because those were my two that I messed with, and I had messed with Tree Stuff originally, but something had happened with Tree Stuff, and I can't remember what it was. Like they got crazy backed up, and I was forced to try somewhere else, and ended up liking Cheryl. But then the merge happened, and then But yeah, I know that Cheryl does a lot of tree stuff. Like their catalog's fat with stuff. So is Bartlett though. I love how Bartlett though will release a sticker packet like that. Even at my age, a sticker packet rocks. I want some stickers. So I know it sounds so stupid. I feel like a 3-year-old saying it, but it is the honest to God's truth. Anyone here climb on the Monkey Beaver 2.0 yet? Yeah, I'm sure there is somebody here. Yeah, guys like Monkey Beaver. What's up? What's your best rigging line from All Gear? Okay. I like either one because I have way more time on the 9/16, but I now have a 5/8. It's kind of newer. But the Husky bull rope that they make, that's what I do all my rigging with. So 9/16 or 5/8 Husky bull rope from All Gear would be my go-to rigging rope for any major rigging. So rocking 1.0 2 years ago. Yeah, but look at all these guys. Though everybody's done bought the first one, and they're gonna buy the second one, and that's where it comes. That's where, like, I can look at that and be like, that just warms my heart. Like, that's awesome. That is, that's what I want. Like, that if you do something, you want it to come off like that, and you don't want to. I don't want to blow no smoke up anyone's ass. Like, I want to be real, and I don't need to make it up to try to look like I know something and try to set myself apart from everyone because I'm overcomplicating things in technical terms. Just being myself is just all I can do. I can't do the other way. I just really can't. I'm too simple, you know. OG Monkey Beaver here. Can't even talk about any others. It is my second hardest. My first one was SOB was Amazon. Hey, maybe you could be on the best saddle ever made. You know, from what I hear from everyone, there's a pretty good chance you are setting, in the best saddle in the world daily. So, you know, like I said, I love it. That's that's a tree man's dream right there. To make a mark in the industry, positive, that that's that major. Like those kind of things don't happen nowadays. Everything's been so done and like is so quick, here today, gone tomorrow kind of type stuff that like even great ideas are gone. I'm not for sure that you could probably even go out and try to buy the aerial friction brake. I don't know if it's even advertised or sold anymore. But I'm telling you, that is a great product. But it cost too much money at the time, and no one wanted to get behind it because it was so out of the norm and like just strange, really. It just looked strange to everybody, and no one trusted it. And I was new to the fancy new gear and like switching over to SRT and trying to upgrade my climbing skills that I'm like, I didn't know any better. So I'm like, this thing looks really cool. It's brand new. And like, I want to buy it before everyone else does so I can like be the first one, you know? So like legit, I feel like that's why I bought it because I'm like, no one else uses this. And maybe I'll be the first guy that'll use it, and especially on YouTube. And that wasn't what happened. I ended up getting really into the rigging rings and just kind of, it got left behind. So I kind of find myself going back to it every once in a while and using it because I feel bad, like it never even got its shine. But I'm not sure that you can even find that anymore. But someone made a very, very good product there, and it was completely overlooked. But the Monkey Beaver saddle definitely wasn't. It was marketed like perfect because of the way it was created, who it was created by, and the advertising that went behind it with his YouTube channel. And all the other climbers that he reached out to have rocket, you knew, well, he knows the best of the best out there. And they're all using it, and they're loving it, and they're telling people they stand behind it, they back it. That was just like perfection to start something. Like absolute perfection. And it worked out so good that you can turn around and do the same thing again, upgrade some parts, better yourself a little bit, your product, but make some, you spent a little more time in it, a few new situations arise, a couple different things happen to where you're like, ooh, I could make some modifications and this could be better. Now, a guy that just like learns something, immediately jumps to the next thing, tries to learn something so he can look super smart, isn't going to make a product like that, in my opinion. He's just not. A guy with an obsession of trying to master things is the guy that's going to make a good product like that. Something that changes everyone. And I don't even care who you are. I'm still trying to think of the name of that damn Templeburger saddle that everybody used to have. But yeah, I've heard bad things about it. So, but never. I don't hear anybody complain about the Monkey Beaver saddle. They complain about getting it adjusted at first, but that's it. How about the workload on the rope? I'm under the impression as long as you're under the limit, it will never break, even at a huge drop. Does that sound right? Even at a huge drop. I don't know. Because there's so many variables, like if you're dropping something into the system really, really hard, I don't know. There's so many variables there. The weight, how hard it hits it, and multiplies it by like 10, so it's like, oh God. I don't know, man. Daryl, I couldn't give you a set positive answer on that, but how the hell we got 15 thumbs and 16 people? That's crazy. Rope runner over 2 years now, SRT and DRT with notch rook. That's cool. DMGP, that must be Western Villain. Oh no, Villain. Western Villain. Okay, yeah. Tree motion. You are the man. Or woman, I don't know. Probably man. I think there's like, just recently I looked at my analytics, it does say like 3% of women are my audience. But that's probably just like my wife and some random chick every once in a while. Or it's probably a bot. Let's be honest, it's not a random chick. It would always be my wife or a bot, probably. I think I got this whole side done now. Unless I went halfway, pulling on the chain, and then I switched and went the other. No, I think we're good. Let me catch up on comments. I have the Weaver. Me too, Jeff. That's what I write. I have the Weaver Cougar with the rope bridge, and it's not the most comfortable on long climbs. I'm thinking to get the Monkey Beaver 2.0. Jeff, I have the Weaver Cougar with the webbed bridge, and it is a complete Cadillac, and I love it. It is incredibly padded, and getting the pads and your back straps that go down the like your ass cheeks almost, those bungees, to extend that strap down so it's at a good point. that's not like hugging up into your crotch, but it's like at a good pressure point on your thighs to relieve some stress and stuff. And then having some suspenders and making sure you don't have to torque down so much onto the waistband that it becomes uncomfortable. Sometimes you can put on a saddle so tight you like cut the circulation to your legs off. So having suspenders allows you to kind of wear that saddle just snug to where you don't have to be so tight and it's not so uncomfortable, especially if you got to pee and you're about to piss all over yourself. But if you think the 2.0 is cool, that's a, the Weaver Denali. Who is it? Trevor Ahern. He rocks that thing all the time, and I think he loves that saddle. So you may if you're looking for like reviews and someone using that, I have never used it, but it looks really good. It isn't nowhere near as padded as my saddle, and I like all the padding for my saddle because I'm not like a flying around fast, crazy fast guy. So like I'm usually chilling. So JC, you have the tree motion. I wanted to make sure I was going to climb and not just say I was before I invested like that. 100%. That's a smart man. Ground pounder. Um, Girl says I was thinking about getting that one next. I love my Monkey Beaver 1.0. Only been climbing for 2 seasons now. That's awesome, man. Well, you're killing it. So here, Jeffrey. Monkey Beaver harness only for the rest of my life. See, look at that. See what? That is insane. He's impacted your life to that point, like with a product that you're gonna rock it for as long as you possibly can. Um, that's just awesome, man. That's so cool to even hear. I climb on the Puma because people aren't very loyal nowadays. If, like even just with content, it's like here one day. If I didn't watch it, skip it. That kind of stuff. So it's a different world. I climb on the Puma and mine a little bit. Mostly same saddle. Cougar that Mike has. Yeah, the Cougar with the web bridge. I actually needed. I had to get a connection, a ring, a DMM ring that I attached to the bridge because when I would go to clip in, it would take all my devices and turn them all the way sideways, which I didn't like, and I wanted them to be facing forward. So when the device is forward like this, the carabiner is going to be like this, fat ways. So then I needed something here connecting the two, and I didn't want to run two clips all the time or have my stuff sideways. So if you mess with things a little bit, being satisfied sometimes can be the worst thing because if you're satisfied with what you know, you don't ever learn anything else. If you're satisfied with how something worked, you're never tinkering with it to make it better, whether it be a technique or a product or a tool or whatever it is. BTS likes the Monkey Beaver 1.0 and the Speedline kit. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, definitely if I had the money, I would have bought a Speedline kit for sure. I started with the Weaver 4D saddle, the with like the butt strap. Yeah, it'll put a pension on you, won't it? I tried the Monkey Beaver. It's great. Turbo says awesome. Not Centennial was awesome at first, but started cutting circulation and sometimes worse. Yeah, I get it, Peter. I'm telling you, anybody that doesn't have suspenders, the addition of suspenders just changes everything. The way the strap's set to your leg, the way the saddle sits to your hips, it's just it. Like, I had the 362 swinging off the side of me today. I couldn't feel nothing. Normally, my saddle would be twisted one way. So, comfort's where it's at. And the things you can do when you're comfortable are always going to be greater than what you do when you're uncomfortable. So, putting yourself in that tree and getting in a work position to where you're comfortable, I promise you, you are not going to make a worse cut. You are only going to make a better cut. So, if you're climbing and your spikes hurt you, I promise you, if you get spikes that are comfortable for you, they're not going to slow you down. You're going to go better. Climbing, if you're like having to hip thrust your way up into the tree and it's taking a long time, it's a lot of effort, then all of a sudden you're like, well, hold up. I'm going to get in the ascender or foot ascender. Now you're rope walking and you're getting up the tree 10 times faster with little effort. So it just depends on where you want to stop at. Or do you even want to stop? Like, that's the kind of person I feel like I am more than anything, is I just kind of don't want to stop. I'm afraid that, like, the way I am, the way I've been my whole life, if I stop, it's over. You know, it won't be long. As soon as these wheels stop turning, things things would happen. So that's my fear. And so keep things greased and just keep going, and that's my life. So Daniel always got me pinched up, and didn't get yourself sorted before you go. Yeah, but I mean, even what's it? Villain. Even if you sorted yourself, eventually you would get up there and you would get in a position, and you would need to. It's just so much sorting yourself around gets a little rough. I'm always positioning myself before I go up, but before I'm on my way back down, I'm like, dang, I need to reposition. So, and as a climber, you're always feeling so awkward because, like, I don't want to play with my crotch in front of people, but, like, everyone's staring at you, and it's like, I'm gonna have to reposition right now. If you all want to keep looking at my crotch while I do this, I guess you can, but I got some stuff to do. Did your bucket, did your buckle start to mess up, Peter? You had the monkey beaver for a while now. It's good. That's what Dan says. I'll join you guys. Just drop kick me if I fall to break my landing. I'll catch you, beaver. Just so you have to give me a shirt. Hey, the shirts are fire. I'll be the first to say. No, it just didn't sit right on the pad. All the whispers, sweet nothings after you do. Right on, Peter. You jealous? You jealous of the bulge? It's an elite club, Turbo. Yeah, it is. I feel like I should show you guys the back of the shirt again so you can see the like massive dick print that is like this guy rocks. Like, you can tell he's a climber, man. He's loud and proud, and he walks with a big stride with his chest puffed out. Let's just be real. BD energy. That's why I need some info, Turbo. Gotta get the feeling on your personality. Do you and Billy are next? Lucky. I went biking on GPS. I think yes, sir. I can't find your channel, Ground Pounder. GP's awesome. Look. Send me a friend request. Use the. Just post it on my I think I've about froze myself. I love the Weaver spandex suspenders. Yeah, that was the ones I was gonna buy, Daryl, but I ended up buying mine from Lowe's actually. There were some AMPs or something like that, I think's the company. But like over where they have like all the little tool belt thing. They were in there. And they were three strapped, which I really like the three strap. How you have that single strap that goes down your spine. I feel like it just displaces everything so perfect. But yeah, that's where I got mine. Was stoked on it too because I thought, well, I'll buy these because they're like 14 bucks. And I didn't expect them to really work all that great because they were $14 and I didn't have to pay a bunch of shipping or nothing. And of course, because let's be honest, I bought it at Lowe's. So I didn't have a lot of faith in them when I first got them, but I definitely quickly realized how good they were. And then the sewing in it rotted out. So I re-sewed it myself together and like triple stitched it and stuff and got it crazy sewn in because that single strap in the back takes all the pressure of the two straps and the entire saddle weight and didn't take long before I actually broke that thing. But yeah, they're awesome. But that was what I was gonna get beforehand, those Weaver ones. Don't you get those broken in? They're awesome. Awesome. It's great on the back. Yes, it is. Your back never feel so good when you come out of a tree. And it was just, yeah, it was so nice on my lower back, my hips, and like everything. Even in your legs, you're gonna feel it because like there's a lot of weight that like you're putting on you're like displacing onto just your legs instead of taking it in your hips. You're like on your spikes, and then your bottoms of your feet will end up hurting, and like that's the only point. I'm displacing a lot of this up here and like holding on with my arms, so it's holding a bunch of the lower weight, and like you're spreading all that weight throughout your whole body as opposed to on the hips and your ass and below. Like it's just that little section taking every bit of impact, or having it throughout your whole body. Well, I guess your feet take the spikes, but you just got the camp gyro, and that thing is awesome. Is it? Unscrupulous sloth? Is it cool, sloth? Yeah. What is the camp gyro? 1.0 is awesome. People's reactions are funny after I take my helmet off at the end of the day, not knowing I had the hair. Oh, I bet. It's like two swivel attachment points for the bridge that work independently. That's cool. I see a lot of people buy the one off like Wish and stuff. It freaks me out because I see people use that for like their swing outside. I just don't trust that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's got the two connection points and they kind of swivel off each other and they're both kind of like a almost like triangular one there and then a diamond upside down. It's like one and one, and then it's got a little pin in the middle and they twist. But yeah. I like two swivel attachment points in the bridge that will work independently. That's my premium DNA. Did I just read you like spandex? I love your spike ascender idea. Bought the bungee. Have yet to stitch it together. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, a hand center works really good because you can not only if it starts to get all cockeyed and like off to the side, you can actually on the hand center where you got the hand center here, the handle loops up, goes over, and it's like down here. You clip it on right here. But if you want that rope to stay even more like in the right orientation, you can clip onto the bottom and put a little carabiner on there, which will keep that rope perfectly straight on there. So you can like align everything even better. Guess I'm gonna have to call this one here in just a second. Yeah, we're like an hour and a half. How do you guys sit here and who do you guys talk to each other? Good thing you guys got each other because I don't think I can keep you guys entertained for an hour and a half. and I just go off on ignorant rambling. But big hands, big feet, big piece of meat. Oh my god. Damn it, why'd I read that out loud? That's funny, JC. What's the heck just happened? Oh my god, I can't stop laughing. You guys are crazy. My wife thinks I'm gay. I'm laughing once again. I know. I seen your post, Daryl, where you were talking about your shirt, and I was about to like hit you back and tag you and be like, "Well, your shirt's cool, but it ain't as cool as this." And I was gonna wear the one you had sent me, but then something happened. Oh, I had to go to the damn mall, so I didn't have time to do stupid, silly ideals that I get in my head. More of my stuff for their kids. You guys are being crazy tonight. I can't. You guys are nuts. I know, my bear. Ah, right on. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Guys, I'll tell you what. I'll sit here and finish sharpening my saw, which I only got one. I got one side left on this 201, and after that, I'm done. Then I'm gonna go inside where it's warm. Actually, I probably have to leave and go get something to eat. My father-in-law is an eye doctor, and that's where my wife works. So they work late on Tuesdays every week. So she has lunch really late. So normal cases, she would be saying like, "Yo, I'm hungry. Let's get something to eat." But like, she's not one to eat on Tuesdays really. She just kind of snack around before she goes to bed. And before I know it, I'm like, oh shit, I should have went to the grocery store a long time ago. Order some fast food. We ain't got the greatest fast food around me. I gotta go like 2 towns over just to get some damn McDonald's. Which is ridiculous. Who wants to drive a long ways for McDonald's? Depending on how stupid hungry I am, some of that unhealthy crap sounds so amazing and like good when I'm not hungry. Or what am I talking about? When I'm really super hungry. When I haven't eaten in a while, or I'm just feeling like out of energy and you're just really hungry and you know you need to eat. Sometimes that incredibly fattening, unhealthy food that comes from McDonald's sounds like the best stuff in the world. But then like other times I'm ready to have a salad, so. Well, Mike, I hope you and everybody else has a great Christmas. Yeah, hey, I I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas before, like, because I'm sure some of you will wrap up and get off here. Um, this has been a crazy cool year. I kind of lost faith in it at the beginning of the year, and like halfway through the year, I felt it kind of kick back in, and I'm glad I kind of jumped back into it because I was really kind of getting away from it because it just, I don't know, it wasn't what I thought. I thought like I'll put together some really good content. The channel will get big pretty quick, and it'll start paying for itself for the time, and like, you know, it won't take long. And that definitely, I got a quick rude awakening when I found out like, yo, YouTube is completely flooded with tree content. You're not doing anything that the next guy's not doing. So that's when I come to the realization like, okay, like I just need to show more of me and just what I do, like my thoughts on things, and hope that people think and agree with some of that, and they watch it for you, as opposed to watching you because you're doing something that the next guy's not doing, or you're doing something completely out of the blue and special, and definitely not breaking down any walls here when it comes to inventing things. But we try to push it a little bit, and definitely try to share. But at the same time, you guys know how I am, and there's few things. There's a couple good things that like I want to share, but it's not appropriate yet. It needs to be appropriate before I, share it. I think, like, I don't even want to say it, but yeah, yeah. There's things that are coming that I know with some more testing and some working with it and using it and some field testing that then I'll be ready to share. But Merry Christmas. Yeah, you guys are awesome though. I appreciate all the support this year. It's been crazy cool. Um, it's been like almost like I want to say humbling, but like almost embarrassing because it's like as much as I like this stuff, I don't like this stuff. Like I'm a very quiet person, very introverted. If you met me, I'm like I'm definitely not the guy that's gonna run up to you or holler your name across the store or anything like that. Like I'm a bit of a loner, and so this is definitely out of my comfort realm. Definitely is not something that I thrive or become like a star at. This is all weird for me. So it doesn't matter how long I do it. Talking to this camera is weird because like I just picture all you guys there, and I don't want to come off as fake and like, and I also don't want to come off as some weird creep like somebody who's just babbling, you know, because you okay. Text is a tough thing. I'm trying to convey your text to me, and I have to include emotion and stuff. And I'm like drawing assumptions a lot of times from like comments you leave, or if yeah, mainly with comments or like this, the live feeds. Like it's hard to pick up on sarcasm on this kind of stuff. So I don't know where I was going with that. I appreciate it. You guys kind of make all this worth doing. Like you definitely make all this worth doing. I definitely wouldn't do it if you guys weren't here and weren't so faithful and like just good company in general. So have a very Merry Christmas. I'll work something else up for you guys and get it out soon. But I just wanted to say thanks. This year's been really cool. Um, for anybody that's super chatted or made any donations during these lives or sent me anything, whether it just be a letter, like I really appreciate it. That kind of stuff goes a long ways. I've been standing here this whole time trying to straighten my leg out so I could pop my leg back into place because my knee was out of place, and it finally just popped back in. So now I can end the live feed, but thank you guys for everything. I try to keep a wall of stuff from you guys, and that's what this is and was gonna be. So like I'll finish it up. I need to put some more stuff on there. Um, I'm sure some of it like I don't have. So if we get the wall up there and I start realizing there's somebody that I don't have something from there, maybe you have to send me something so I can put up. But eventually, as I do these, I'm just gonna get lazier and lazier. And that chair looks so sweet every time that I come out here and do these. I just want to sit there in that chair. But I'm like, then I'll get lazy. And it'll take a whole lot for me to get lazy. Have a great holiday season. Thanks again for all the support, all the crazy gifts, and just everything. You know, just thanks for being here, watching the stuff, and supporting kind of what I'm gonna try to put out there as far as, YouTube and stuff. I feel like you can make a channel and be totally honest. Don't put on a persona. Don't be goofy, especially for the camera. Do stuff like to overdo. I feel like my channel's proof that as long as you're okay with having a smaller channel and growing it at a bit of a slower rate, that you can still grow a decent, crew of people and get a good audience to watch your stuff and to conversate with like this, and that will support you. And like, even when you're feeling down and kind of crappy, and like, seasonal depression is crazy. Like, I I understand. You just kind of look to these places for a bit of support, some uplifting, and you guys do that for me a lot. So if I can do it back, let me know. Guys, stay safe out there. Have a good year. Finish this one off. We'll start the next one. We'll do it even bigger. And we'll see what it brings. But stay safe. And I'll catch you all soon. Bye.